It's another cold start to your day. I'm timing out a warm-up for later this week, but possible chances for rain over the weekend.
Costs increasing. What you pay for everyday items is going up. How the rising cost of diesel impacts prices at the grocery store and online. And a nail-biter of a finish. NC State's tournament game against Texas comes down to the wire. The heartbreaking moment that brought the Wolfpack season to an end.
WRAL News at 8 on Fox 50 starts in about 30 seconds.
At Leith Honda in Raleigh and Auto Park Honda in Cary, we make your buying process easy. And with every new car purchase, you'll enjoy complimentary oil changes and exceptional service. It's no wonder we've earned so many 5-star reviews. You'll also get peace of mind pricing with every used vehicle, and if it's not the perfect fit, no problem. Bring it back within 3 days for an easy exchange. Visit our showroom at Auto Park Honda in Cary or Leith Honda in Raleigh. It's easier here.
Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us on this Wednesday morning. I'm Kirsten Clark.
And I'm Ken Smith on this cold Wednesday
morning. That it is.
Again. Let's go to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, tracking how cold it will get. And maybe a warm-up is in store for us, Elizabeth.
It is. This is going to be the coldest morning that we see this week, but tomorrow will still be close to freezing. We take a look at Chapel Hill right now. Look at this little slice of blue sky here. A lot of gray out there across parts of the viewing area, but the sun will win out. Once we get closer to lunchtime, it looks like we'll be nice and bright out there. It's currently 31, but we have a northeast wind at 8 miles per hour, and that's making it feel a good bit colder than it is. In the Triangle, it feels like 23. This is the wind chill on the right and the actual temperature in the left. It feels like 24 in Southern Pines, 25 in Roxborough, as well as Rocky Mount and Wilson. Cloud cover this morning. It's going to stick around for just a little while longer. By the time we get to 10 or 11, all of a sudden we clear and we'll see lots of sunshine through the afternoon, which will be pretty, but it doesn't help to warm up our temperatures that much. 42 at lunchtime and high of only 48 this afternoon. That's mostly because that northerly wind will continue. Now, overnight it switches to southerly. I'll show you how much warmer it gets over the next few days. Coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, happening now in the WO Traffic Center. Boy, things are getting a little better on those I-87 lanes coming in out of Smithfield this morning. These are the southbound lanes moving away from us this morning. So as we widen out the view, give you an entire look at I-87 coming in from Knightdale. Right now, you're looking at a 7-minute delay. That was in double digits, so things are getting better. We're seeing a little bit of a slowdown between the New Hope Road and Hodge Road areas, as well as that slowdown that we're seeing right there around the Smithfield Road exit. So if you're coming in from Zebulon, Wendell, all points east, you might want to take Knightdale Boulevard or Business 64 as an alternate route. Hey, in Raleigh, let's look at that southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. These are the westbound lanes moving away from us, and that's usually the morning congestion that we see this time of the morning. Right now, though, you're just looking at a 5-minute delay, so really nothing that's going to make you late. And if you're coming in from Gardner, Johnston County on I-40 westbound, no delays whatsoever. For those of you using I-540 as an alternate east-west route, we're seeing a little bit of a delay between Lewisburg Road and Capitol Boulevard, but once you get past Falls of News, it's clear sailing all the way to I-40. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. Garner police are looking for the person who shot at a Go Raleigh bus. This happened on Garner Road at around 8:30 last night. Police say 3 people were on the bus at the time of that shooting. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Police have not made any arrests yet, and they have also not released any information about a possible suspect. Happening today, Mayor Janet Cowell will give her second annual State of the City address. She's expected to discuss the city's progress and her vision for the future. WRAL's Ali Kadlabar is live at City of Raleigh Museum. And Ali, housing affordability will be one of Mayor Cowell's main points today.
Yeah, she's expected to address a lot of topics, but specifically honing in on housing affordability. Now, the mayor's office told us that Cowell is working to expand housing affordability. She also wants to find solutions for people who are unsheltered. Now, this comes nearly 3 months after Ryan Camacho, who Raleigh police say was living at Fletcher Park, is accused of breaking into Ravenscroft teacher Zoe Welsh's home and killing her. Cowell says improved housing is one step toward preventing crimes like this. We're also expecting to get an update on where the city stands on affordable homes. In 2016, the city set a goal of 5,700 affordable homes by this year, so we're expecting to get an update on that as well. Cal is also expected to address public safety, transportation, also the environment and quality of life in Raleigh. Now, the State of the City address is expected to be at the City of Raleigh Museum at 6 tonight. WRAL will be live streaming it. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
New this morning, a tough night for Wolfpack fans as NC State is knocked out of the NCAA tournament. They played in their first full game last night against Texas. Boy, it was tied with just seconds left, and that's when Texas hit a basket to put them up by 2 points. NC State was unable to answer, and the Longhorns advanced with a 68-66 win. NC State's season comes to a heartbreaking end. Meanwhile, Duke and UNC play their first tournament games tomorrow. The top-seeded Blue Devils will tip off against Siena at 2:40 in the afternoon. UNC is a 6th seed. They're playing VCU at 6:50 p.m. Both games are in Greenville, South Carolina.
Turning now to new information this morning in the war on Iran. The death toll in Israel since the start of the war has risen to at least 14. This comes after a man and a woman were killed by an Iranian missile attack near Tel Aviv overnight. The Israeli military says it detected multiple missiles launched from Iran toward Israel. Several locations across central Israel were hit, and Iran vowed revenge after one of its top leaders was killed in an Israeli strike yesterday.
And Kirsten, as the war stretches on, President Trump is touting the U.S. military's success against Iran.
We knocked out their Navy, their Air Force, their anti-aircraft equipment, their radar, and their leaders. It's been amazing militarily, but it's something that had to be done. Unfortunately.
Well, we should point out that attacks around the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad resumed this morning. This comes as the U.S. military is targeting Iranian military and energy targets in response to the closing of the Strait of Hormuz.
So let's get a look at gas prices this morning. New data from AAA shows the national average is up 5 more cents to $3.84. Here in the state, the average is up 4 cents to $3.60, and in Raleigh, it's up 3 cents to $3.62 per gallon. And surging oil prices are also causing diesel prices to soar. And economists say the effects are being felt beyond the gas pump. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live in Raleigh this morning. And Kelsey, this will lead to higher costs for everyday things as well as things like online shopping.
Yes, Kirsten, that's exactly what economists are anticipating. So diesel truck drivers are filling up this morning, and they're paying a whole lot more than what they were just a month ago. Duke economist Connell Fullenkamp says people will feel the effects of higher diesel prices at the grocery store and where they shop online. The average price of diesel is $5.07 a gallon. That's up more than $1 since the beginning of this month. You may notice the effects of that in your next online order. Fullenkamp says companies may start adding a fuel surcharge to items you buy online.
Just about everything that we get shipped to us is coming either on a diesel burning truck or on a diesel burning locomotive. And so that's going to cause the transport prices to go up. And so it's definitely possible to see these fuel prices feeding through to higher inflation.
So you can head to WRAL.com and click on 5 on your side to find more ways to save at the grocery store. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
This morning, state elections officials are expected to debate next steps in a recount involving state Senate leader Phil Berger. Berger trails challenger Sam Page in the Republican Party primary for a Greensboro area seat. Page leads only by a narrow margin. Berger is asking for state officials to examine 220 specific ballots, a departure from the normal process. The State Board of Elections meets at 10 to consider his request, and you can follow along for updates online at WRAL.com.
Well, this morning, state lawmakers plan to unveil a proposed constitutional amendment as part of the effort to tackle property taxes. The proposed changes will limit the ability of city and county governments to collect property taxes in the future. Now, if the idea is approved, it will be put on the ballot for voters statewide to decide. Lawmakers are also expected to discuss a proposal to limit property tax exemptions for affordable housing projects. WRAL reported last week Wake County alone is losing out on $745 million annually in property tax revenue because of such exemptions. The debate is expected to begin sometime this morning. Well, time now 8:10. 1 year in, we're hearing from Raleigh's police chief about the first year in charge. The challenges he says the city still faces despite crime being down.
And finding a solution. Changes are coming to a street where a North Carolina State professor was hit and killed. How city leaders plan to make the intersection safer.
Temperatures are near freezing, but it's a bit breezy out there. So look at this. Our wind chill in most places is making it feel like the mid-20s. I'll show you when our wind shifts to southerly and starts to bring warmer air in. Coming up. 8:13. I know it's gray out there, but these clouds look really cool, don't they? Kind of dipping down toward the horizon as we look across Wake County. A little bit of sunshine trying to peek through in some places, and we'll see much more of that as we get closer to lunchtime. So the temperature's on the left, and we're mostly hovering right near freezing, but there's just enough wind out there that it feels a lot colder. 23 in Durham and Raleigh, feels like 24 in Goldsboro and Southern Pines, and 25 in Rocky Mount and Wilson. So it's a cold start out there this morning. So kids heading off to the bus stop are likely out there in their big puffy coats, I hope, because it's been chilly. Lunchtime, you're going to need your coat then, too. Still just 42 degrees, and we only climbed to 47 this afternoon. Starting tomorrow, we begin a warm-up, and we'll be back to shorts and T-shirts weather in a few days. I'll show you that, Ken.
Oh, looking forward to that, Elizabeth. Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, boy, that southern loop of the Beltline. This is the usual morning congestion that we see as you take a live look at I-40 near the Lake Wheeler Road entrance. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. So let's look at the sensors in terms of your morning commute and what's it going to take. Just a 3-minute delay, so really nothing that's going to make you late. Things are moving a little slower than you'd like, but 3 minutes not going to make you late. You're coming in from Garner, Johnston County. No delays between Highway 36 and the Beltline. I'll look at some other delays that we're seeing on some other major routes coming into the Raleigh-Wake County area coming up.
Thank you, Ken. Raleigh's police chief has hit the 1-year mark as the head of the department. And Rico Boyce is answering our questions about what went right, what went wrong, and what's ahead. In his first year in charge, crime has dropped in Raleigh with the help of technology and intelligence.
We use data to be strategic about where we place our resources. You know, that is important, making sure that we're laser focused on holding those folks accountable that commit crime here in the capital city.
So we also talked to Chief Boyce about the death of Raleigh teacher Zoe Welsh and safety concerns despite the drop in violent crime. You can find his response and the full interview on the WRAL YouTube page. Just search WRAL on YouTube.
Listen, a 4-way stop is coming to an intersection in Raleigh where an NC State professor was hit and killed last year. Natalia Day Wiggins was killed at Clark Avenue and Polk Street. She was crossing the intersection when a 19-year-old driver hit her. This happened back in November. She died at a local hospital. Yesterday, the city council approved a 4-way stop for that intersection. No timeline yet, though, on when it will be installed.
Meanwhile, WRAL is working to get more information about 2 security threats at Durham high schools yesterday. Durham police received an anonymous tip reporting an active shooter at the School of Science and Math. They alerted school officials and came to investigate. The school was on lockdown for 45 minutes while police searched the area.
And Kirsten, less than 10 miles away, Sky 5 was over a lockdown on Jordan High School. In that case, there was believed to be a student with a weapon on campus. The sheriff's office did not find any weapons. We're still trying to learn more information about this crash that shut down part of Creedmoor Road in Wake County. Sky 5 over that scene as well. On the Great Eglantine Court, the road was shut down for nearly 4 hours. The Northern Wake Fire Department says the person had to be freed from one of the cars. No word yet of if anyone will be charged in this incident.
Turning now to Rocky Mount, where the city could take action to address its financial crisis this week. The city council called a special meeting for tomorrow to consider recommendations from the city manager. We've reported for months about the multi-million-dollar hole the city is facing. A recent state audit found serious financial failures over a 2-year span, and the report found increased city spending with the lack of oversight. Rocky Mount's mayor pledged to get things back on track.
March Madness is one of the biggest betting events of the year. Now, 2 years after sports betting became legal in North Carolina, hundreds of millions of dollars are expected to be wagered in the state during the NCAA tournament. A new WRAL documentary, Pioneering Tonight, looks at the impact of legalization from where the money is going to growing concerns about addiction.
The frequency was daily, and not just daily, but hourly, however often I was able to, because gambling to me combined all these elements I enjoyed. A quick money, I love sports, I love feeling like a big shot.
And well, stay with us. WRAL documentary investigator Kristen Severance will join us right here on Fox 50 in the next hour to talk about the documentary and what addiction professionals are seeing in North Carolina. You can watch The Gamble, sports betting in North Carolina, tonight at 7:30 on WRAL and wherever you stream WRAL.
Happening today, a change in leadership at Disney. CEO Bob Iger is officially stepping down from his position. Iger will be replaced as CEO by Josh DeMero. DeMero has spent the past 6 years overseeing Disney's most lucrative businesses. That includes parks, cruises, and consumer products. One of his main challenges will be the shareholder value of the company. Disney stock has fallen nearly 50% over the last 5 years.
More than 1,000 employees of Voice of America could soon be returning to work. A federal judge ordered the U.S. Agency for Global Media to reverse its job cuts. This is the same judge who ruled Carrie Lake's appointment to lead the agency was illegal. Lake oversaw the cuts that virtually shut down Voice of America. Since the cuts, the international broadcaster has been transmitting in only 4 languages. Before that, it was broadcasting in 49 languages all across 100 countries. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi is being called to testify in front of the House Oversight Committee about Jeffrey Epstein case. The committee chairman says the panel will look into potential mismanagement of that case. The deposition is set for next month.
Well, FEMA has approved a 6-month extension for temporary housing and rental assistance for Helene victims in North Carolina. Eligible people can now stay in FEMA-provided housing or get rental assistance through September 30th. After March 29th, people living in temporary housing will be required to pay rent. FEMA has provided 243 families with temporary housing, along with more than $23 million for the cost of rent for another 6,100. Well, we've been covering the damage there in Helene for quite some time, but thankfully we won't have to deal with any storms or damage right now here in our area. And it looks like, what are we taking a look at there? Is that a meteor?
It is, isn't this great? So this is actually over Ohio and Pennsylvania, and people heard a loud boom and were wondering what it was, and you can see why they would. And it's in the daylight, and you could still see it. That's how powerful it was. And satellites from NOAA, from the National Weather Service, were able to pick it up and confirm that it was, in fact, a meteor. But neat stuff to see. I'm sure it was a bit surprising for those folks who could hear that boom. Let's take a look at what we're seeing here. No surprise that it's cold out this morning. We've been talking about it for a few days. A lot of cloud cover this morning. I haven't seen a whole lot of people walking up and down Fayetteville Street, but it's definitely not shorts and T-shirts kind of weather out there. People are out there in their coats. 31 is our temperature, and our wind is northeast at 8 miles per hour. We had a really pretty sunrise this morning, right around 7:30 or so. The sky really lit up with beautiful colors. Shirley Allgood sent us this morning from Henderson. So if you have a photo you'd like to share with us, go to WRAL.com/report it, and we would love to see what's happening in your backyard. High pressure has been dragging in cold air, but as the high slides eastward, we start to see our winds coming from the south. That's going to warm things up nicely. So we go from a high of only 48 today to 61 tomorrow, then 70 on Friday. And the morning lows warm up too, looking like 31 for tomorrow and then 40 for Friday morning. The next thing that we watch is a chance of a few showers. We have the possibility that we could see see some light rain early Saturday morning. That should be over by the afternoon, and we're fairly clear Saturday night. Increasing clouds on Sunday, but Sunday for the most part looks dry until the evening. Some of the models want to bring this front a little closer to us faster. So just to cover the bases, we did put in just a small chance of some showers on Sunday. So late Friday night, early Saturday morning, and then late Sunday. None of this is going to be terribly widespread. At this point, I wouldn't necessarily change my outdoor plans. All total, all the way at least through the weekend, we only have a 1/10 of an inch of rain. Fortunately, we're doing pretty well with rain. In the last 30 days, we've seen 75 to about 100% of our normal rainfall. Now, we still have to get out of the drought, so we'll continue to need to see a good bit of rain, and we may see a good chance of it again early next week, but not necessarily over the weekend. I'll put a few sprinkles in, but I left the green good to go over our outdoor plans this weekend. Okay, just kind of keep your eye out. We'll let you know if it looks like it's going to be too wet, either Saturday morning or late Sunday. A much better chance for rain early next week, and our temperatures drop back to the low 50s Tuesday.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Congestion really beginning to ease up, and these I-87 southbound lanes coming in out of Knightdale this morning. These are the southbound lanes moving away from us this morning. So as we widen out the loop, give you a look at the entire stretch of I-87. Right now, you're just looking at a 2-minute delay, just a pockets of slowdowns. You're seeing one around the Smithfield Road exit, but 2 minutes not going to make you late at all. That southern loop of the Beltline, yeah, not so much. High 40 and near the Lake Wheeler Road entrance ramp, those are the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning, bumper to bumper traffic, as you can see. But right now, you're just looking at a 4-minute delay going into that southern loop of the Beltline. If you're coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area, no delays whatsoever at this hour.
Thank you, Ken, always keeping us up to date. Coming up, saving on prescriptions. Can a new government website help? 5 on Your Side breaks down what's true and what's not when it comes to Trump RX.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Your time now is 8:26. I'm Kirsten Clark. Let's get right over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with your forecast.
And we're gray out there this morning. This is a look at downtown from our Jimmy V camera down Fayetteville Street. Our temperatures are hovering right near freezing, 30 in Roanoke Rapids, 30 in Wilson, 31 Fayetteville, 31 in Southern Pines. But there's enough of a wind that it feels more like low to mid 20s in some places. So you might want to take your exercise inside to the gym this morning. Even at lunchtime, we're still just looking at 42. This afternoon, we'll see plenty of sunshine, but our high is only 48. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, things are getting really better at those I-87 lanes coming in out of Smithfield this morning. Those are the southbound lanes moving away from us. And boy, it was bumper to bumper traffic in the last 45 minutes or so. But right now, you're just looking at a 2-minute delay. We're seeing just a little bit of a slowdown around the Hodge Road area. But other than that, 2 minutes not going to make you late. Coming up, we'll take a look at some other delays we're seeing on some other major routes coming into the Raleigh-Ray County area.
Ken, thank you. Garner police are looking for the person who shot at a Go Raleigh bus. This happened on Garner Road at around 8:30 last night. Police say 3 people were on the bus at the time of that shooting, and thankfully nobody was hurt. Police have not yet made any arrests. And the rising diesel prices could soon start affecting everyday goods. The average cost of diesel has gone up more than $1 this month. Most shipping in the U.S. is powered by diesel-fueled trucks and trains. Economists say this could lead to higher prices at the grocery store and where you shop online. Coming up next on Fox 50, Raleigh leaders are preparing to discuss the future at tonight's State of the City address. And coming up on Today, catching up with Anya Taylor-Joy on Universal's The Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Good morning. Thank you for being with us. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Kirsten Clark. Thanks for staying with us in this half hour. We have a lot to get to today. You can see that overcast behind us. Really gray out.
Yeah, not only that, we have temperatures at or below freezing all over the place, from Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, you name it. So let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Weather Center, tracking it all for us.
Yeah, it's chilly and it's gray on top of that, and even breezy. So it's not very comfortable out there this morning. But a little bit of blue skies just appeared here observe at Terminal 2. So we're starting to see some holes in the clouds in a few places. And by the time we get to lunchtime, we should be seeing mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. It's breezy. We have a northeast wind at 8 miles per hour and a temperature of 31. So the wind chill is really a thing out there for a lot of people. It feels like 23 in Durham and Raleigh. The wind chill is in the white box on the right compared to the temperature on the left. It feels like 24 in Southern Pines and in Goldsboro. Feels like 25 in Rocky Mount and Wilson. So we do have some cloud cover with us this morning, but notice as we get to 11 o'clock that the coverage really drops. So only 20% of the sky covered with clouds. So we should see more sunshine. It stays chilly all day, though, even with sun. 42 at noon. We'll see high of 48. I'll show you what changes to bring us gradually warming temperatures into the weekend. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. You're going to have to trust me on this. Sometimes they move the camera. It gets a little out of focus, but you can know what I'm talking about. You can see the bumper-to-bumper traffic there on those southern loop of the Beltline. Of course, to remind you what the southern loop of the Beltline is, that's the 440-40 interchange on Southeast Raleigh all the way over to US 1 there in Cary. And right now, you're just looking at a 3-minute delay, so really nothing that's going to make you late, even though it looks like bumper-to-bumper traffic. This is a situation that just developed here on the shoulder of the road on that northern loop of the Beltline as we take a live look at I-440 near the New Bern Avenue interchange. Again, traffic has picked up, but we're not seeing any heavy congestion. Right now, you're looking at a 7-minute delay because the main congested areas is really around the 87-440 interchange to Capitol Boulevard. And after that, it's clear sailing all the way over to Wade Avenue. So again, that northern loop of the Beltline, still your best bet in terms of getting around. In terms of widening out the view, really and truly very little to no delays up Fence and Wake Forest. You're just looking at a 4-minute delay coming on US 1 South. If you're getting ready to head into the car, tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. Turning to Garner now, where police are looking for the person who shot at a Go Raleigh bus. This happened on Garner Road around 8:30 last night. Police say 3 people were on the bus at the time of the shooting, but thankfully no one was hurt. Police have not made any arrests yet, and they have also not released any information about a possible suspect. Happening today, Mayor Janet Cowell will give her second annual State of the City address. She's expected to discuss the city's progress and her vision for the future. WRAL's Ali Kadlabar is at the City of Raleigh Museum sharing how public safety will be one of Mayor Cowell's main points.
And Mayor Janet Cowell is expected to address several topics, specifically honing in on public safety. Violent crime went down by 1% in 2025. Property crime decreased by 17%. And that's all according to Raleigh Police Department's annual crime data. But high-profile cases have caused the city to look at improving safety. Back in early January, Zoe Welsh, a teacher at Ravenscroft School, was murdered. Police say Ryan Camacho is accused of breaking into her home on Clay Street and killing her. Camacho had been in and out of jail, possibly living in Fletcher Park. The mayor's office told us Cowell is looking at housing solutions and funding for substance use programs to prevent crimes like this. She's in talks with lawmakers as they come back into session in April. Cowell is also expected to talk about transportation, housing affordability, the environment, and quality of life in Raleigh tonight. Now, the State of the City address starts at 6 p.m. It's at the City of Raleigh Museum, and WRAL will be live streaming it. Reporting in Raleigh, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
New this morning, a tough night for Wolfpack fans as NC State got knocked out of the NCAA tournament. Their first 4 matchup against Texas was tied with just seconds left. That's when Texas hit a basket to put the Longhorns up by 2 points. NC State just couldn't answer. Texas advanced with a 68-66 win. NC State's season comes to a heartbreaking end. Duke and UNC will play their first tournament games tomorrow. The top-seeded Blue Devils will play Siena at 2:40 p.m. UNC is a 6th seed. They will take on VCU at 6:50 p.m. Both games are being played in Greenville, South Carolina.
I'm Laura Levine here in the WRAL Live Center, staying on top of everything regarding the war on Iran, starting with a new interview with President Trump and NBC News. The president saying in a brief phone call, talking about and dismissing the Iranian retaliation on Israel overnight after 2 of Iran's top officials were killed. He says the attack was nothing compared to what happened to them and that they're going down. They're losing big. He also made several posts on Truth Social today, the latest one involving this topic specifically, quickly. He says Iran is considered by everyone to be the #1 state sponsor of terror. We are rapidly putting them out of business. We will continue to follow the latest on the war in Iran.
Laura, thank you. And staying with those updates in the war on Iran, the director of the National Counterterrorism Center has resigned over the war. Joe Kent posted this statement to X saying, quote, "I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby." President Donald Trump slammed Kent yesterday. He said Kent was, quote, "the nicest guy, but was very weak on security."
The statement, I realize that it's a good thing that he's out, because he said that Iran was not a threat. Iran was a threat. Every country realized what a threat Iran was.
It's important to note Kent is the first senior member of the Trump administration to resign because of the war on Iran. The National Counterterrorism Center keeps track of terrorist threats. It also maintains a database of suspected and known terrorists.
Kirsten, air travel is more expensive because of the war on Iran. Officials say that since the start of the war, the cost of jet fuel has risen 50%. That's led some airlines to raise their ticket prices. But some airline executives say ticket sales have remained strong so far in 2026. They say many airlines either broke daily or weekly records this year. Well, coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll break down what you need to know about saving on air travel as costs go up. Well, speaking of costs going up, gas prices continue to rise this morning. New data from AAA showing the average of up more than 5 cents to $3.84. In North Carolina, that average is $3.60. And in Raleigh, it's up 3 cents to $3.62. Of course, you can find the lowest gas prices in your area with the WRAL Fuel Tracker. Just open the app and search fuel.
Well, those surging oil prices, Ken, are causing diesel prices to soar. And economists say the effects could soon extend beyond the gas pump. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live in Raleigh this morning. And Kelsey, the fuel prices may eventually lead to higher costs for everyday items as well.
Yes, Kirsten, that's exactly what economists are anticipating. Diesel truck drivers are filling up this morning, and they're paying a whole lot more than what they were just a month ago. Duke economist Connell Fullenkamp says people will feel the effects of higher diesel prices at the grocery store and where they shop online. The average price of diesel is $5.07 a gallon, so that's up more than $1 since the beginning of this month. Most shipping in the U.S. is powered by diesel-fueled trucks and trains. So if it costs more for businesses to ship and manufacture, the prices you pay will likely go up, which leads to higher inflation. You may notice that.
I think it's going to show up in e-commerce as well. We do so much with that, and those fuel surcharges and other prices are going to be built into a lot of the small things that we order on a day-to-day or weekly basis.
You can head to WRAL.com and click on 5 on your side to find more options to save at the grocery store. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And speaking of the prices you pay on pretty much everyday goods, the Producer Price Index has just been released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. What you're looking at is that release, and it's a lot of numbers and data up here. But I can tell you the biggest headline right now is that wholesale prices have actually increased 0.7%. This is well above expectations, and it really puts the Fed in a tough spot right now. So all eyes will be on forward guidance, I should say, later today, and any mention of a future hike will be a strong negative for the markets. That's something that we're monitoring today with the Federal Reserve meeting later on.
Today, the Federal Reserve will decide whether to change interest rates. The chances of a cut to rates appear slim. Market futures suggest the Federal Reserve won't consider cutting rates until later this year. The decision is expected at 2 this afternoon.
Morning, state elections officials are expected to debate the next steps in a recount involving state senator leader Phil Berger. Berger trails challenger Sam Page in the Republican Party primary for the Greensboro area seat. Page leads with about 24 votes. Berger's asking for state officials to examine 220 ballots specifically. That's a departure from the normal process. WRAL state government reporter Will Doran explains why Berger thinks some people's votes for him may not have counted.
He has identified over 200 ballots in which he says the people didn't vote for every single race on the ballot, and there are concerns, he says, that some of those people tried to vote in his race and just their votes were not actually tallied properly by the state.
The State Board of Elections meets at 10 o'clock this morning to consider Berger's request. Follow along for updates on WRAL.com. You can watch more about this race on our WRAL YouTube page. You can find the final voting results, statements from both candidates, and the questions being raised about this election's authenticity. You can find it all on WRAL's YouTube page.
Still to come, saving on prescriptions. 5 on Your Side looks into whether a new Trump administration effort can really help you save money on your medications.
Also coming up, we're at Riverbend Middle School this morning to introduce you to a special education teacher. She'll share whom she credits for encouraging her to become a teacher.
And it's a cold start with temperatures in the upper 20s and low 30s. If your kids have after-school practices today, they're going to need those extra layers. At mid-afternoon, only in the upper 40s. But I'll show you why it'll be noticeably warmer tomorrow coming up. 8:44. We still have this little window of blue sky here at Terminal 2, but still much of the viewing area is seeing cloudy skies right now. As we get closer to lunchtime, we'll see those clouds diminishing and we should see some nice sunshine. It's been a chilly start. We're working our way back to right around freezing, 31 Fayetteville and Raleigh. It's 30 in Roanoke Rapids and Wilson, but it's also been a little breezy, so it's been feeling more like mid-20s heading out the door. So I think as everybody headed out the door this morning, they had their big coats on. And if you're headed out soon, again, it's near freezing, so I would put those coats on. At brunch or lunch, temperatures still feeling like the low 40s, and then we'll only climb into the upper 40s this afternoon. So it really will feel like winter for us all day, even with some sunshine. All that starts to change tomorrow. Our wind will start to come out of the south, and it'll feel like spring again. I'll show you when our highs are back to 80 degrees. Ken?
Hi, Elizabeth. We're keeping an eye on that southern loop of the belt line that we do each morning, just to make sure you know what to expect as you get ready to head out, especially if this part of the belt line is part of your morning commute, I-40, Lake Wheeler Road entrance ramp. Heavy congestion, but traffic is actually moving, albeit slowly. You're looking at a 4-minute delay. It just jumped to 3 minutes. How about that? So things are getting better on that southern loop of the belt line at this hour.
Glad to see things clearing up. Thank you, Ken. If you are one of the hundreds of thousands of people on the state health plan, you could see some major changes soon. The plan's leaders voted yesterday to change how members receive specialty care in the future. It won't affect your primary care doctor, but just about everything else is changing. Some people could be forced to pay more to keep their doctors. Others could get free care. The details won't be finalized until this summer. And for a breakdown of the debate and why state officials are pushing for these changes, head on over to WRAL.com.
Listen, can a new government website help save you money on medications? Well, 5 on Your Side's Alex Littlehills takes a look at Trump RX and shows us what's fact and what's fiction.
The Trump administration just launched what's called Trump RX. It is a government-run portal which the president says is a place where people can buy discounted medications. But here's the thing, the Kaiser Family Foundation just surveyed more than 1,000 Americans. Roughly a third of them have even heard of the platform. An even smaller amount have used Trump RX, just 7%.
So what is Trump RX, and does it actually help the average American save on medication?
And that's a great question. I think it's really important to talk about, well, who stands to benefit from this and who doesn't.
Nitzan Arad at the Duke Margolis Institute for Health Policy talked to WRAL to help find an answer. First noting the number of people who can even take advantage is already quite small, since the website's discounts only reflect cash pricing, meaning anyone already with insurance may not stand to benefit. Right now, there are 54 prescriptions accessible through the site, many of which, Arad says, were discounted to begin with before Trump RX.
Many of the drugs in this portal already had existing manufacturer self-pay programs with similar cash prices before the Trump RX launched, meaning consumers could already find those prices by going directly to the manufacturer or by using GoodRx for certain drugs.
Alex Littlehales, 5 on Your Side.
Well, airlines are putting pressure on Congress to reopen the government to make sure TSA workers get paid. As of today, the Department of Homeland Security says 366 TSA officers have quit their job as they get closer to missing 2 full paychecks. Some airports are urging passengers to get to the airport up to 2.5 hours before their flights. Airlines say they're fed up with being used as a political football in policy fights out of Washington, D.C. Their CEO signed an open letter to Congress calling for lawmakers to fund the Department of Homeland Security immediately.
These men and women are showing up. They're not getting paid week after week. They only make about $35,000 a year on average. It's just terrible. So, by the way, if you're going through those lines, have some patience. Thank those folks for continuing to show up, the ones that are there. They're under a lot of pressure, too.
Airline executives say they want TSA agents and air traffic controllers to get paid during future government shutdowns.
The price to fly on your next trip could be on the rise due to the war on Iran. Jet fuel prices are increasing. Travel experts expect prices to increase quickly. They say flying on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays is usually more affordable. Flying during off-peak travel can help as well. That could mean booking early morning or late night flights or traveling during non-holiday weeks in the fall and winter.
Our teacher of the week initially thought she wanted to work in the health field. Then she discovered she was more interested in the academic well-being of children. We're at Riverbend Middle School to surprise a special education teacher known for getting the best out of her students.
Here you go. Take your Chromebook out, okay?
It's not unusual for Sarah Spurshrud to greet her students at the door.
Hi. Do you have your computer? Yeah. I missed you yesterday.
She is affectionately known to her students as Miss S.
Okay, good. Good for you.
But her attentiveness and willingness to make sure her students succeed gets an A+.
I think the part I like the most about it is that you see so much growth from them, and the growth with them is different because it feels like such a big mountain that they climbed, so they're just so excited when they do it. And it's really fun to see. Just put an X in the box, just like you always do.
Ms. Spurshrud readily admits she needed a little nudge before answering the call to the classroom, but has no regrets.
It was actually my mom's idea. She was like, well, I think you'd be a great teacher. I was really involved in the special education class at my high school, so she was like, you should try it. So she kind of decided for me.
For Ms. Spurshrud, though.
Okay, so you're not actually missing though.
Having her students included in the Riverbend Middle School community brings her great joy.
And I think it's important for the kids to be able to build relationships with a lot of different kinds of people and that they all get the same opportunities.
Miss S., you are WRAL's Teacher of the Week. Congratulations. You.
Oh, how nice.
Give her a big round of applause. So wonderful meeting her. Well, if you'd like to nominate a teacher, go to WRAL.com and enter Teacher of the Week in the search box.
Well, it is a chilly start to the day, feeling like winter again, Elizabeth, but thankfully nowhere near like what we're seeing here in Michigan.
Right. So when we had all that rain a couple days ago, they ended up with snow across parts of the country. And this is Michigan, where a horse got loose and they had to have the state police come help get him in. Watch him as he walks into the barn. He's like, do I have to
He
go?
almost looks like he doesn't want to go.
I know, right? Just let me play in the snow. Definitely going to be cold here for us today. Our temperature is running 15 to 20 degrees below normal, both in the morning and in the afternoon. But you know, that never stops the golfers. I love it. This is, of course, Pinehurst Resort and Country Club. But look at this. There is some blue sky there. And as we get closer to lunchtime, everybody should start to see that blue sky. 31 is our temperature right now in the Triangle. It's 31 in Holly Springs and in Rollsville, 31 in Durham right now. The temperatures are close to where we were this time yesterday, about 3 or 4 degrees colder. But we're not quite yet to when we see our average last freeze. The average last hard freeze, which would be down in the mid to upper 20s, tends to happen in a week or so, March 21st to the 31st. But the average last freeze, like what we'll see tomorrow at 31, tends to happen that first week of April, say between the 1st and the 10th. So we're getting there. We're just not quite there yet. Our normal low, though, is 40 degrees, and we're going to be down near 31 tomorrow morning. After that, we don't have any freezing temperatures in the forecast all the way into the weekend. Our next weather maker is a high that's been feeding in air from the north, and so that's made things pretty chilly. As the highs begin to to slide eastward, the wind will start to shift. Right now, we have a flow coming out of the northeast, and of course, it's colored in blue because it's bringing cold air in. Overnight tonight, it switches to southerly and then turns red, and so that's the warmer air that starts to move in. So we go from 48 today to 61 tomorrow, then 70 Friday, then 82 on Sunday. But, you know, right after that comes another front that'll drop our temperatures again, and that is the cycle of the spring. We do have a small chance for some rain late Friday into early Saturday, and then potentially as we get into Monday and Tuesday, should be a better chance. We may end up seeing some heavier rain late Monday into Tuesday. We'll have your top stories coming up next.